Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra here at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale. And today on Suck Less Saturday, I want to tell you and give you a little insight how to use a target that maybe isn't ideal, that isn't a great target, but how you can improvise to get great training value out of a less than perfect target.
You need a shot timer because that which gets measured gets worked on. The Range Tech Timer is the official timer of Active Self-Protection because it is versatile, reliable, feature-rich, and very economical. Check out all it can do at the link below.
Let's face it, you get to the range and you forgot your targets at home and you go, gosh, what am I gonna do now? Because, you know, people like shooting goofy targets, right? And hey, listen, everybody likes to do stuff. And I think these kind of card targets that we have here that C2 has, they can just be fun for people. I'm totally down with that. But when I show up to the range, I wanna practice my defensive firearm skills. And of course, this isn't a kind of a target that you'd normally look at for that. But bear with me, I think you can actually salvage something out of a target like this, and it'll help you to suck less. Because if you look, what I did was I busted out my phone and I used the measuring app on my phone to realize that these little cards are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. Now, you go, wait a minute, how does that help me, John? Well, if we recognize that the A zone on a USPSA target, you know, roughly an 8-inch circle here, that an A zone on a USPSA target is roughly 6 inches by 11 inches is what their target is. Now, I think that's a little generous this away a little bit, but if you said, wait a minute, 2.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches long, how does that relate to a 6 by 9 or so that I'd kind of like? Because I like to stay, again, you know, a collarbone to diaphragm inside the nipples to get those good high center chest hits. How big a target is that? So after that measurement, what I did was I busted out my calculator app and I said 2.5 inches across divided by 6 inches across gives me about 40% of the size. So since this is 40% of the size of a USPSA A zone, the width, and it's about, you know, if I was generous, then it's not quite as long as 40%, but that's okay. Actually, I think that's a little bit better in this case. So I said, wait a minute, if I wanted to practice 7-yard A zone hits, what distance would I need to be at in order to do that? Because again, distance scales, you know, the size of target scales with distance. So then I take 7 yards, which is the distance that I wanted to go, and I multiply it by the 0.41, that the size is the same, and I get 2.9 yards. So 3 yards. So I can actually use every one of these as an A zone in order to see if I'm getting my hits. I just have to go at 3 yards instead of 7 yards. So I can actually use weaponized math to use a target that's not so good and suck less. I think the second thing you could do with a target like this, again, once I scale the distance to the target size, is I could do tons of target transitions here, right? Now, I could, if I wanted to make decision making and cognitive loading and those things, have a friend who's barking at me with, you know, different cards and different colors and stuff like that. And what am I going to do? So we could use this for a decision making target as well. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to put it out at 3 yards. I'm going to run a few drills and see what I can get in terms of seeing that and using this as an acceptable A zone hit at a little closer distance. Put it out there at 3 yards. Let's just see what it's like, shall we? We'll just get a few and just kind of see what we're doing here. I'm going to try and just run a couple of multi-shot drills, just 2 to the chest. Okay, dropped my first one just the tiniest bit low on that one, but then got up and got a good second shot with about a 0.34 split. Okay, I'm okay with that. Again, dropped my second one. It probably would have been okay if it was a true USPSA, but instead, you know, not the fastest shot I've ever shot, but you know, hey, it was just my cold shot this morning. Life is good. Try it again. Just a skosh high. Again, a 146. Great, let's just try again. Okay, got both hits there. Got a little bit better split, but my first shot was terrible. Really, I will tell you, these smaller targets are making me kind of really think about making sure that I have all the grip that I need as well as enough sights. Now I'm just going to take a few and come from the high ready. And actually, when I hear the beep, I'm not going to really worry so much about the first shot, but I'm going to transition to the second one. So I'm going to hear a beep. Okay, fine. Going to get a first shot, transition over and get a second shot like I'm doing multiple target transitions because I am, just at shorter distances. All right, we're going to go jack to king, jack to king, jack to king, jack to king. Good. Okay, I like that. That was a good transition, and I had a 0.38 split there. I had a 0.38 split. I'm pretty okay with that. Again, at this close distances, it's not that far apart, but at 7 yards, those guys would be, a good few feet apart. Let's try a little farther one, see what we get. Let's try jack to 7 this time. Oh, just off the 7. I was just off the 7 in that same 0.36 split this time. Let's see if I can get a hit. Let's see, again, 0.36 over there on that. Remember, on those transitions, I'm trying to let it go, change my eyes, set the sights on my new target, bring the gun as it recoils back to that new spot, and see if I can do that with some rapidity. That particular one, I was just off my accepted target, would have probably been a Charlie at 7 yards. Well, it would have been a Charlie for sure. Try it again. Up a little bit there too. I'm not doing so hot here. I got to see a little bit better. 0.37, but let's actually see it and hit it, John. All right, that wasn't a bad shot, except for I went to the king, not the 7. So, and 0.39. So here's the funny part, is I transitioned to the king thinking that was my target. So that last one, I really drilled that king really well, except for I wasn't shooting for the king, I was shooting for the 7. So maybe I got to work on that a little bit. This is be very difficult for this because you got to count the numbers and all those things, get it in the right spot, see your sights, do all that stuff. But here's my thing for you for Suck Less Saturday. Hey, go and if you can't find the target that you want, make the target that you have into the target that you want. Go to the range, do a little bit of weaponized math, figure out, hey, these targets that I have, can I use them for my next range trip? And if you can, I think that you win. So, hey, get out there this week and shoot a little bit and suck less, would you?